What's up? So, head judge for the MB Drift Series is here. How's it going? I want to just touch on a few things, explain a few things, talk about some changes I'm making, and also at the end of this video, I'm going to have a few steering tips. A few people have asked me what to do with their hands when they're drifting, so stay tuned to the end. Anyway, so I want you guys to know what to expect, and I want you guys to know how we're judging, so that you know what to do and you know that there's no drama, politics, grudges, or any of that nonsense happening. Also, it's a grassroots event. We have people with like stock cars and stock angle competing with cars with not very stock cars with tons of angle. We don't want you to think that you aren't competitive if you have a stock car or stock angle, and we don't want you to think that you're being judged unfairly or being put on a different standard if you do have crazy angle and like an insane car. It's grassroots. I mean, there's a range, and we're taking that into consideration. So the three main things that we're judging on are line, angle, and style. Although style, I'm not sure is really the right word for it. I'll get to that. Line, really straightforward. Are you on the right line throughout the course? If you're getting as close as you can to those front clipping points, those rear clipping points, and filling those rear zones, and doing that fluidly, you're on the right line. Pretty straightforward. Angle. So yes, use as much angle as you can. Use as much angle as you can while maintaining speed. Those of you guys that have some insane angle kits, we don't want to see you like crab walking just to hit full lock. Maintain that momentum, maintain that speed. If you're slowing down unnecessarily just to hit a bunch of angle, it's not going to look good because you're sacrificing one thing for something else. Now this one might have some people kind of worry like, oh, I don't have the angle or blah, 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 blah. Because there's such a variety of angle kits, you have stock angle, and then you have guys whose willows are pretty much pointing behind them, and everything in between. I'm pulling some stuff from the style category into the angle category to make it fair. The way I'm making it fair is I'm judging on things that everyone can do, no matter what their angle kit is. Yes, use as much angle as your car is going to allow. If it's clear that you are going very conservative and doing very shallow angle, yeah, you're going to get deducted. But if full lock and your 1.6 Miata isn't matching it like YS Fab and some LS nonsense, that's fine. What the big thing I'm going to look for, and the line judge is going to look for, is how quick are you to set that angle and hold it? How quick are you, that's control, that's car control. That's showing commitment, which is the style thing. But in angle, use as much angle as you can, but get there as quick as you can and maintain it. Yeah, when you hit angle, you're going to have to put in some inputs, to get around the turn. That's normal. What we don't want to see is, you set your angle a little bit, and then you throw in a little bit more, then you throw in a little bit more. That's setting angles and steps. No, we want you to set angle and hold it. In order to do that, you need to maintain your speed, because that's going to allow you to do that. Also, corrections mid-turn. You set your angle, you let it out, you set it again, you let it out, you set it again. That's not going to look that great. We don't want to see a whole bunch of corrections. We don't want to see a whole bunch of steering through the turn. Set your angle, as much angle as you can get, hold it, and you're good. Style. Okay, so style you might think is like, okay, who can make the biggest smoke cloud, left foot braking, doing a rolling burnout through this? Yeah, it looks cool, and everyone's like, woo, smoke. It's a competition. Now, style is really steez. How easy are you making it look? How cleanly are you tying the course together? How fluidly are you driving? Are you, are you coming real slow and initiating and then gaining your speed? Or are you going full blast into your initiation? Whether you e-brake or clutch kick, feint, throw bombs, who knows? Are you showing full commitment through the course? Are you going through a ton of speed and like slowing down, and then ton of speed slowing down, ton of speed slowing down unnecessarily? Are you having to do a bunch of corrections to get from this turn to that turn? Are you throwing in like 5 extra manjis because you're not quite where you need to be? Style is how cleanly you tie the course together. Showing full commitment through the course, keeping that speed up. Yeah, no crab walking, angle stalling, none of that stuff. No like tons of corrections. Cleanliness, that's what style is. All right, tandem battle. Lead driver, run the best run that you can do as if you're just doing a qualifying run. The best qualifying run you can do, that's what you aim for. Follow driver, mimic the lead driver to the best of your ability. Stay on them as much as you can. What we don't want to see is lead driver braking unnecessarily or checking up the rear driver. We don't want to see the rear driver cutting turns to like catch up to the lead driver, or going real shallow, or don't sacrifice one thing for something else. You want to see good runs. If you're having to pull like tricks and whatnot, checking up on the driver, nudging them or something in order to advance yourself, these dirty tricks, I guess we can call them, don't do that. We know what we're looking for. We know what those look like. All that's showing, if you can't progress through the competition by just driving well, and you have to do tricks to upset the other driver in order for you to progress, all that shows that you don't have the skills to progress on your own. That's all that shows, and we can all see that. And it just shows it's just bad driving. And it shows, that you just aren't as good a driver as you should be to be where you are. All right, now judging. I'm explaining this for two reasons. One, so you know what we're looking for, and two, so you know that there's no bias, no grudges, none of that is going to be factored in. So this is what we're doing this time. Driver X rolls up to the line. Grid person's going to give us their name, car number. They're going to do their run. Me being angle judge, I'm going to say, okay, I gave them 30 out of 30 because they held their angle, they had a ton of angle, whatever, they did a perfect run. Or I deducted 5 points here because they did this, and that, and other two judges would be like, okay, we saw that, cool. Line judge, they hit all the clipping points, so perfect score. Or, they went kind of off here, they didn't fill this zone here, so I took X amount of points off. We'll be like, all right, we saw that, cool. Style judge, blah, 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 blah. Okay, there's two people checking. We're checking that one, the judge is judging based on what they're supposed to be looking for, and two, they're not factoring in any bias or a grudge or something. Because if they say, I took off, 20 points because they did this, and the other two of us are like, they didn't really do that, or there's some kind of discrepancy between what they say and what we saw, we're going to note that, and we're going to talk about it, and we're going to fix it. That's going to make it so drivers don't think they got their score because someone has a grudge or some past history, or we're trying to give the competition to one person and take it away from another. That's not going to happen out of my watch. Also, this is going to facilitate overall scoring time. Last time, I messed up as a head judge because when a car did their run, I would do my score. I'd be like, all right, I'm good. Other two judges would be like, all right, we're good. All right, send the next car. And it wasn't until the very end that we would call out the score. Okay, I gave them this on this run. What'd you give? This because of that, and this because of that. Two reasons. One, it took a lot of time to compile everything at the end. And two, there are a few instances where each one of us was kind of surprised at where a car landed. A car that I thought did great as far as angle goes got deducted heavily from another judge and placed way lower than I expected them to. Or a car that I thought was going, very sketchily, whatever, I deducted a bunch of points, got perfect in somewhere else and it landed higher. I'm like, that's a surprise. Also, we didn't have the complete feedback to give drivers. So what this is going to do is, one, we know that everyone sees the same run and the scores accordingly. Also, in real time, you do your run. I say my score, I get the other two scores, we immediately tally it up, and we have the total score of that driver. So when everything's done, we have those numbers, we just put them in order, and that's it. It saves a lot of time. Everyone that has notes, we're giving you complete feedback, as we should be able to. What I don't want is people to think that there's any bias being factored in, because I'm not having that. Politics, grudges, gatekeeping. And to be honest, I'm kind of offended when that's being said, especially when I'm a judge, because that's not what's happening. Especially when that's being said and there's been no effort to clarify, why things happened. If people would just ask, then we'll explain things. For example, why was there one more time in the last battle of the last run? I've heard all kinds of reasons as to why that happened, these agendas, these conspiracies, whatever. No one ever asked me or the other judge. So I'm going to go ahead and answer the question that was never asked. Why was there one more time on the final battle of round 1 of MB Drift this year? Well, this is why. Both drivers had shown earlier in the day and during the competition that they are capable of clean runs. They came to the final 2 spots because they drove well earlier. On their final battle, both drivers had pretty sloppy runs because of things other drivers did, but also independently. And we were trying to figure out who had the least sloppy run. Well, he did this, and that, and he did this, and that, but who did... It's the final battle. It shouldn't be decided by who did the least worst or who did the less sloppy run. And we realized that. We're like, you know what? At this point in the competition, first and second place, that's not what it should come down to. So let's send them back out, give them a chance to give us clean runs, a good battle, give spectators the show that they need, and just have a good fight. So he sent them out. There was a spin. The rest is history. That's what it came down to. And if someone would have asked that, I would have explained that. But no one did. So here we are. So who am I to be in this position, and who am I to be offended by notions of like gatekeeping, grudges, and all that? I'm just the guy that's as tall as your average 12-year-old running around with a camera, with a goofy hat, and maybe a goofy shirt on, right? Yes, and a bit more. So I'm the guy that when some of you were actually in elementary school or just getting into middle school, I had already been paid to do drift demos on Speed Channel, and I was competing and doing all that fun stuff. I'd already been out in the streets and whatnot. Fast forward a few years, and when some of you guys were just making your way into high school, I was teaching high school in Japan, where I'd already met Nomukin and Nakamura and Suenaga. First time I had talked to Alexi from Noriyaro. I'd been out to Ebisu. I was living, the drifter's dream and whatnot. And that was 10 years ago at that point. Since I started drifting, I have tons of experience with NAKA S13s, KAT S13s. I've driven S14s, RB S14s, E30, FC, Genesis. What else? A Crown Vic. The most rowdy car I've ever driven was a Hayabusa-powered tube-frame Opel hatchback with four-speed sequential forward and reverse gears. That thing was a beast down in Disney World, Florida. I've been around drifting. I am passionate. I want to push you as far as you can go. That's what we all want to do. So I'm not going to let drama infiltrate anything that I do or anything that I am looking over when it comes to drifting. And really, a lot of people who are running these events, MB Drift, Piedmont, US Drift, Swing Set, East 10, you go down to Florida, anywhere. Don't bring politics and grudges into this. There's no place for drama in drifting. It's like a skate park. You go, you applaud your buddy for like landing a trick and doing a clean run. You go, you do your runs, you don't snake anyone, you don't cause drama, you have fun. That's what it's all about. We want to push each other. Yeah, ask me questions, ask anyone that's involved questions. All we want to do is push you guys and help you guys move forward. And when it comes down to a competition, especially a competition where I'm the head judge, I'm going to make it as fun and as fair for everyone as possible. There's a rule book. Go to mbdrift.com, read it. Go to the Facebook page, read it. If there's something you're unsure about, ask. Get clarification beforehand. Really, it is that simple. So a few of you guys have asked for tips on steering as far as like what to do with your hands and whatnot. So let me give you some tips. I'll have a video at the end of this of one of my runs from way back when my car actually still ran a long time ago. So watch that. But my basic method, and it's a good place to start, is 10-2, 9-3, sides of the steering wheel. That's what you should aim for. Throw the wheel, guide it around, do whatever you're going to do. But whether you're at full lock left, full lock right, mid lock, wherever you are, catch the wheel here. That allows you to put whatever inputs you need to put in. That allows you to grab the handbrake, make, shift mid drift or whatever while putting in your corrections. What I do is I throw the wheel. Some guide it, you do whatever you want to do. Don't do this, that's stupid. What I do, as you'll see in the video, is I throw the wheel. So if I'm turning this way, I throw it, the hand's going down, the hand's going to catch, hovers, catches the wheel, put in my inputs. Throw it, hovers, catch, put in the inputs. I can do whatever I need, and there we go. Knowing where your hands are going to go, having a plan for that is going to help a lot when it comes to drifting. It's control. Watch my video, but watch videos online, Tsuenaga, Katsuhiro Ueo. Look for Ueo style on YouTube, and you're going to see a crazy video of some nasty manjis down a straight at like 5 billion miles an hour. Drifting is about having a plan of what you're going to do as a driver. It's about car control. Yeah, some people call it controlled chaos or being out of control while being in control. That's not at all what it is. Drifting takes more car control than most any other motorsport. And that's me coming from an autocross and road racing background. So watch this video, ask me, ask anyone else that's at the event if you have questions. I'm going to have my helmet I'll hop in the car with you. You know, anyone who's been drifting, competing, they'll hop in the car with you. All we want to do is see you guys go forwards. Have fun. If you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. And yeah, see you out there.